The monument may have been relocated and the soldiers reburied, but the dispute over the bronze soldier in the Estonian capital of Tallinn has not yet been laid to rest. At least one of the demonstrators protesting against the monument's removal in April remains in jail. For him, the fight for personal justice and for the memory of the Soviet soldiers who died liberating Tallinn from the Nazis continues. And as Alexander Luchaninov now reports.
More than 2 months have passed, but Alexei still recalls these moments with a nervous tremor. Tallinn Harbour, Terminal D. He recalls people being beaten by Estonian policemen after street clashes in the city center.
I've been over that side. I recognized a guy there. Sometimes they allowed us to stand, but there were policemen who tried to stop us moving. Some of them were not even police staff. Some had temporary uniforms, but no ID. If you wanted to avoid being beaten, you had to sit calm, silent, and not ask questions.
This, he says, was the price for protesting against the removal of the monument to Soviet soldiers from central Tallinn. After that night in the harbour, protesters say they were forced to defend themselves, not the monument. When they exhausted all methods of defense inside Estonia, they took their claims to a higher court. These men, along with a couple of supporters, went to Brussels to show members of the European Parliament how they had been treated in the EU member state.
We prepared them a 4-minute-long video showing policemen beating people on the floor. The deputies were shocked. They never thought this could happen in Europe.
The Estonian authorities accused them of organizing the street clashes. But Yuri says central Tallinn being crushed by looters was the last thing he wanted to see. Some shops here still bear the wounds from stones and bats. This store that sells alcohol hasn't reopened since the looters' attack. 2 months after brutal street clashes in central Tallinn, people here still remember April's events vividly. And for many, the struggle for the bronze soldier continues. Dmitry Lincher, the leader of the Night Watch movement, is still in Tallinn prison. His wife Marina says she was given the chance to see him only once in July.
My husband lives in conditions which are far from European standards. He suffers some problems in the heat, but we hope everything will be okay.
Along with her daughter-in-law, Leonora Linter is hopeful her son will be freed, despite a court denying early release this week.
He talked to an investigator only once during the last 2 months in prison. The facts they have could hardly be called evidence. He didn't participate in any clashes, and he said in an interview that it's not their way.
Dmitry hasn't been charged yet and is likely to be released in 2 months' term. But he says this will not erase the memories of the terrible night he remembers in Tallinn's harbour. Alexander Luchaninov, Russia Today, Tallinn, Estonia.